This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. Welcome back to Game Day here on the channel. And yes, it's Montreal, Edmonton, 5 p.m. Mountain Time. Ooh, yeah, we're in for a dandy of a hockey game. One I've been looking forward to a lot, obviously, right? The Canucks stuff I look forward to, the Habs I look forward to, and then, of course, Winnipeg, I'll take it or leave it. And we'll get to the game against Toronto coming up next week. Yeah, we look forward to that as well. So, my friends, where do we find ourselves? Well, we find ourselves 1-1 on the hockey season so far. We find ourselves looking to build a winning streak for the first time this year. We look, obviously, to keep that effort we had going against Vancouver in the back half of the doubleheader going. We look to see if Mikko Koskinen can finally take the reins as the number one starter and absolutely run with it for the foreseeable future. We look to see if, well, changes are on the horizon. With that, if you're new to the channel and you want to stick around for the game review and a whole bunch of more game coverage and off-day coverage throughout the season, consider hitting the subscribe button in the next 8 or 9 minutes, and let's get to it, shall we? This coming in from both Reed Wilkins and Dustin Nielsen. So Reed Wilkins, 630 Ched. Dustin Nielsen, TSN 1260. You've got Reed Wilkins tweeting about how in his pregame chat with the media today, Dave Tippett did say Nygard will play, and it looks like Ennis will go into the lineup today. On the Oilers website, though, he is listed as day-to-day, so I wonder if that is an indication from the Oilers directly that Ennis will not play tonight, which would mean one less guy has to come out of the lineup. But Khaira is coming out. Khaira is scratched. That's the big news for a lot of Oilers fans today. Everybody that's complaining about Jujhar Khaira, he's out of the lineup tonight. So if you're complaining about something Jujhar Khaira related tonight, you've got the wrong number. You're seeing 16, but there actually isn't a 16 out there on the ice. Just keep that in mind this evening, all right? So, now that said as well, if Nygard's coming in for Khaira and Ennis is coming in after a day off due to injury, somebody else is coming out. Whether that be Archibald, whether that be Chiasson, right? Somebody else has to come out as Drew Shore will stay in the lineup. There's nothing mentioning here about Shore. That's because he was in the lineup last game and he'll stay in the lineup for Edmonton Oilers, assuming he takes the center role on the fourth line this afternoon, evening, whatever you want to call, 5 p.m. in Alberta. I call it the hour I get off work. What do I know? So, anyway, right, that's the combinations here. So why I mentioned Archibald is because Dustin Nielsen comes in and says, I wonder if Ennis moves up with Turris and JP and then Shore centers Nygard and Archibald. That would make a lot of sense, right? We've seen that effectiveness of that righty shot on the third line, but that's not so much because of the shot, that's because of the mentality that Josh Archibald brings to the third line. Go in, grind it out, and hustle pucks into the offensive zone and on net as much as possible. That's kind of like what Josh Archibald likes to do, while also being very defensively capable and responsible. So, now you're going to see kind of how Dave Tippett will shuffle the lines, and these aren't major lineup shuffles by any means, right? Jujhar Khaira out, that's what everybody was asking for before the season got underway. So that's not breaking news by any means. Yeah, sure, it is technically breaking news when Tippett said it about 3 hours ago, but it's an expected thing for a guy that's now just a complete depth player on this team, as opposed to a guy that you're playing and guaranteeing will play 56 games this season back in October. Now, at the same rate, Tyler Ennis, a guy that everybody had, myself included, projected to be a top 9 forward. To see him in the top 9 tonight would be something interesting, especially alongside Jesse Puljujärvi. Ennis is a great playmaker. Turris is a great playmaker. Puljujärvi is an absolute incredible shooter from what we've seen in the first 2 games. Puljujärvi has the second most or third most shots on the Oilers so far this year. Behind who? McDavid and Nugent Hopkins. Yeah, Draisaitl doesn't even have more shots than Jesse Puljujärvi. That's pretty solid. Whoever's got Jesse Puljujärvi in fantasy and they've got him in a league where shots are counted for a point or two, that really helps things along the way, especially considering he's been on the forecheck and throwing a couple of hits with that big frame of his as well. So tonight, right, we're still waiting to see who exactly comes out in net for the Montreal Canadiens. I believe it'll be Carey Price from everything I've read so far today. And I want to see what ends up going on here as, what's your call tonight? Log into Club 1909. Claude Julien addresses things in Edmonton. And then realistically, I can't seem to find anything about our good old man Carey Price, who's going to get absolutely demolished by the Oilers should his history continue. Let me see if I can find anything on the website. Looking back on friendly history, watch list. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything here. They've got at the other end, watch list. Here's some numbers on paper in the last couple of games. Yeah, there's not much to go here in terms of stuff to read off of. So what I will just say is I'd expect Carey Price to be the starter for the Montreal Canadiens today, and I'd expect Connor McDavid to do exactly what he did to him at Rexall Place all those years ago. Yeah, if you was Connor McDavid even in the lineup that game? I think he had just returned, if I'm not mistaken. You know the game I'm talking about. Last season at Rexall, Oilers Habs. Yeah, I don't. You can go look at the highlights if you want. I don't need to jog my memory too much. I'd rather probably forget that memory more so than I'd like to remember it. But who am I, again, to say? So, right, for the Oilers, couple of storylines. Khaira out, Nygard in, Ennis hopefully back, and then you've got Mikko Koskinen taking over the starter's role full time. Now, the other side of this pregame that I really want to get to is the fact that Darnell Nurse and Ethan Bear are like a +4 each to start the NHL season. If you had that pegged as how things would go for your top pair, well, that's pretty incredible. Honestly, like, straight up, if our top pairs out there being that effective, and I only use top pair because they're the 1A pair to the 1B and Jones and Larson, who's the 1B to the 1C of Cuckoo and Barry. But when I look at it that way, is the simple fact of, you know what, the guys that ate the most minutes last year, Bear and Nurse at times, they have come out and they have been absolutely effective. Defensively, yeah, it's not pretty, but I guess it's been effective if you're a +4 5-on-5 so far this season. So I look forward to hopefully seeing them continue to grow their game defensively, rely on each other to do things right, and get the job done defensively and maybe a little bit more offensively for our Edmonton Oilers going in to game number 3 of the season against the Montreal Canadiens. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. I don't got much more else to add. Really, there's no lines or anything to break down from what I've seen. So we'll get to everything post-game. No stream again tonight because I'm going to sit there and watch the game. I enjoyed doing it last time on Thursday night, and you betcha I'm going to eat my wings. I'm going to have my garlic toast with cheese, and I'm going to enjoy myself a game day, right? That's what I don't get to do when I live stream the games, is actually enjoy a Saturday night hockey game. And that, for the first time in a while, against an Original Six team, I'm going to dang well do it. You guys enjoy the game. I'll talk to you after, and maybe twice after. Who knows? Maybe the 1 a.m. upload again. I'm up on out of here.